Flooding, very scary sights there. There were more than 50 water rescues in 2 counties. Pretty crazy how much rain fell there in Texas.
Yeah, a situation where a lot of the state really needed the rain, but a little bit too much came at once.
Yeah, it was a big problem. Thanks for joining us on AccuWeather Weekend. I'm Melissa Constanzer.
And I'm Anna Azallion. We have a lot to talk about for the weekend, so let's start off with radar and satellite and give you an idea of what to expect, because once again, we are tracking a storm.
Yeah, we're actually going to see 2 storm systems come through. You can already see the southerly flow ahead of things as we pull up that Gulf moisture, and we're going to kick out some energy across the plains today. There's another piece then that'll work its way through. So basically back-to-back systems. It's one stormy pattern for the week to come.
Yeah, and while the severe threat will really kind of kick off later today, we are already seeing the snow and the ice to the north.
Yeah, if we show you this map here for much of the south, showers, thunderstorms still forming their way on through. We've been watching some of those thunderstorms in Nebraska. We are talking a severe weather threat both days here as we go through today, and a bigger threat heading into tomorrow, and a lot of that will be late tomorrow. Here's our threat for Saturday evening into Saturday night. You can see where these thunderstorms fire up across Kansas, Oklahoma, stretching into Missouri, and there's a lot of wet weather pulling along the Mississippi River, so rain, thunderstorms still likely here as we deal with some of that wet weather, unfortunately, on the Mississippi River. Showers, thunderstorms could be strong to severe as we head through Sunday, and piece of energy coming through. They erupt as we head through the overnight hours, so continuing to deal with that thunderstorm threat here. As this slides its way east, there is still a lot of rain, thunderstorm activity into Sunday morning. This will kind of get stretched out and regenerate more thunderstorms as we head into Sunday evening and Sunday night. So you can see Sunday afternoon, not a lot going on, but there are some thunderstorms off towards the north, potentially places like Chicago dealing with wet weather. And as this continues to slide its way east, there comes that long line of thunderstorms just driving its way on through, and that will have some of the damaging wind threat, potentially isolated tornadoes along that, so we'll be watching for that threat as it pushes its way east. Monday, there's still AccuWeather's 2025 hurricane season forecast is out. Lincoln Riddle spoke with our hurricane experts to find out. Well, it's starting to feel more like hurricane season outside as we deal with the warmth pumping into the northeast. Let's talk numbers here, because this is going to be an interesting weekend across the northeast. Some will win if you want spring, others will not win. It's a very sharp cutoff line here. Who is dealing with the 70s, 80s, and who will be dealing with the 40s, even 30s in some locations for high temperatures. So again, a numbers game, very sharp line. If you find yourself living in some of these areas, just know that that number is going to be largely different depending on where you head, because of how quick we change from cool air to warm. Its way to the southwest, which means New York City, your numbers fall into the 40s with the chance for more rain. We will have that icing threat ongoing here across northern New England. And then we talk numbers for Sunday, and it's a little bit different in some locations, especially across Long Island, for example, where the cool air has made its entrance. Even in parts of coastal New Jersey will have a big temperature difference there. We still have this sharp gradient where we're talking 60s versus 40s. It's just a matter of where you live and which side of the line you might find yourself. Seeing our share of storms in the Lone Star State the past couple of days, one of them producing all of this rainfall here through southern Texas. Really impressive stuff. Harlingen coming in with 18+ inches of rainfall. So that's 1.5 feet of rain alone, let alone that runoff that can lead to big time flooding issues. We've challenged with that. We do dry out across southern Texas. San Antonio, dry day for you. Temperatures in the mid-80s. Still have the moisture though off through East Texas, and that continues to work its way across places like Little Rock and into Vicksburg, for example. So showers, thunderstorms still possible. Even into tomorrow, we're going to have somewhat weather from the Dallas area on off towards the northeast. But if you're through much of Texas, especially central southern Texas, again, getting that chance to dry out a little bit as we close the weekend. 86 for the high in San Antonio. We're still dry in Lubbock as we hold on to 81 degrees. Cooler air makes an entrance in Oklahoma.
Thanks for sticking with us here on AccuWeather Weekend. Well, for generations, millions of sports fans have seen the iconic Goodyear blimp hovering over stadiums all across the country. This year, the famous aircraft blimp is celebrating the 100th anniversary of its very first flight. So we sent AccuWeather correspondent Kelly Searing on board this weather lab in the sky. Pretty cool behind the scenes look there. Let's talk about this weekend in the Northeast, because we talked about the snow, the ice, but let's talk temperatures. We have a sharp contrast really from north to south, right? Not a very large area between 40s and 50s versus 70s, even that high of 81 in New York City for today. Let's break down those temperatures a little bit further, especially comparing to historical average, because that really gives you the context of how kind of unusual the warmth is there below your historical average. But Detroit can't really complain about the rain, right? Now, it doesn't last for some of us. It depends on where you are on the map for Sunday. Most of Pennsylvania, we're still in the 60s and the 70s, but New York City, for example, you're in the blue shaded area now. Temperatures are going to drop, but let's take a closer look at exactly what to expect. New York, you're actually great to see some of that tourism coming back. Let's go from an East Coast state to the West Coast now and take a look at what to expect this weekend. Throughout the last couple of hours, we've been seeing what's left of the last storm system moving through the Northwest. Really, we're into areas like Colorado, even a little bit further north towards Rapid City with the bulk of the moisture, but not a lot of precipitation going on this morning. That changes tomorrow. The next storm system moving in, really it starts into Northern California, then kind of works its way up further to the north. We're talking rain, mountain snow once again in the Cascades, for example, in DC. So if you're wanting to go out and see the cherry blossoms for yourself, maybe get some pictures, here's a look at what to expect weather-wise, so you can make your pick of what your best day is going to be. So the National Park Service said peak bloom was going to be this past Friday through Monday. I'm going to go ahead and say Monday, this is not your day to go see the cherry blossoms. We have the thunderstorms. We have a threat of severe weather on Monday. So if you can't go on Sunday, maybe hold out until Tuesday. I know it's one day past peak bloom, but I think it'll still be worth your trip. We're looking at mostly sunny skies, temperatures in the 60s, a little bit cooler than this weekend, but overall not bad. They're not the only ones with cherry blossoms. Nashville, you'll see the peak a little bit later into the spring, but the next couple of days, if you want to go check them out, I'd say Tuesday is going to be your best day again because of that threat of severe weather, Sunday and into Monday as well. Well, the severe weather threat continues through our Sunday and even into Monday as well. So let's break it down piece by piece. We do have a level 3 out of 4 high risk area here in the red. Now, we rarely issue the extreme level 4 out of 4 category. That's really when there's a tornado outbreak. So take the high risk seriously. It's not an everyday thing that we issue this high risk, and we are expecting tornadoes on the ground. Sunday is our best day for that chance of tornadoes, but it's not just that. Really, all types of severe weather are on the table, especially flooding is a concern as well. Damaging wind gusts, large hail, all of it for anybody in a shaded region on the map here. We're covering a lot of real estate through the Mississippi Valley up into the Ohio Valley, a lot of us that are going to see this risk of severe weather. But this area is where we're most concerned about the tornadoes, stretching from up near central Indiana all the way down through parts of Arkansas, northern Mississippi as well. Especially if you are in this area, have multiple ways to get alerts, especially into the overnight hours, because this does extend into the overnight. Let's take a look at future radar and how this plays out. Now, as we look at 5 a.m. Central Time, we're not seeing a lot in the way of thunderstorms. They're going to start to fire up a lot more as we go throughout the day, especially late afternoon into the evening. That's when we see this line of thunderstorms start to develop here. We're stopped at 4:30 p.m. right now. It continues to track its way north and east, just kind of strengthening as it works its way into the Ohio Valley and then eventually into towards the East Coast. That's where our severe risk is for Monday. This is the overall area that we're watching for Monday. We do have a level 2 out of 4 moderate risk area in the orange here. All types of severe weather possible.